So we're here at Moore's with my Mercedes CLA. I don't know if you've seen this car, automatic 180, 100 and something thousand miles on it. Was this one? 110,000 miles on it. Bought it in because it had no power at all, which the guy's diagnosed as a turbo. Fitted the new turbo, which I thought that was what it was. Taken it out for a test drive, and it's gone bang. It's gone bang. Joe, what do you think it is that's happened? It's
oil starvation.
Oil starvation.
Previously, because all the pickup pipes are blocked.
All the pickup pipes are blocked apparently on it, which has starved the engine of oil, and it's blown a nice hole in the block. Looking online, it's about £2,000 for a replacement engine plus the cost of fitting, which obviously makes it a bit of a bust. I got it with a good margin on it, but unfortunately I have to pay VAT on the gross margin, don't I? So if I didn't have to pay VAT, if I was paying VAT on the net margin, I'd be all right. But because I've got to pay it on the gross, I'm losing probably about a quarter of the engine straight to the VAT man before we even fixed it. But it's a paperweight unless we put an engine in it, isn't it? And this is exactly why I repeatedly say you don't discount cars, because for every few cars that go out the door and everything goes well, there's cars like this that don't go well, and you just need to look at it over the whole thing. You have to look at over the whole package of all the vehicles as a profit, not on them individually, because some cars will lose you money, and it looks like this one is a good candidate. So it's a good example of why you should maintain your motors. Looking around, I can get a lower mileage motor. I found one that's got only 75,000 miles on. We could put in it, which obviously will be an advantage over putting one similar miles on. We've presumably got a good turbo that can go on it, because it won't have any of the auxiliaries on it. And hopefully that solves it. It's an automatic, and it's a nice spec. So fingers crossed. I just note some lack appeal. Fingers crossed we can break even on it at least. Joe's just showing me the oil filter and the pickup pipe on it to show me how poorly maintained it was. So here's your oil filter, and it's literally like treacle. It's all collapsed, and it's like treacle. And then the block-up pipe, we probably can't see, but that's blocked up. That's going to be blocked up with the same stuff, basically.
On the curved end, you can see it's completely blocked. Can't get light from it.
Oh yeah, look at that. Absolutely blocked solid.
Turbo the same.
The old turbo was as well, was it? We've got the old turbo off it as well. Oh yeah. So this is servicing, guys. This is where if you service a car regularly, you won't get this build up. Oh, and it just snapped. Did it snap on the shot? Oh no, it's just giving you loads of play in there.
No boost at all.
Yeah, I know. When I drove it, the reason I dropped this car off to the guys in the first place was because when you drove it, you had zero boost. The car performed like well, not even a 1.2. Had absolutely no get up and go in it at all. So that's why we had to put the new turbo on. But you can see, like Joe's showing us, that everything is caked and blocked up. So it is what it is. It is what it is. High mileage is not a problem if you've got good service history, but if you have high mileage combined with poor service history, then these are the issues you start to run into. Yeah, Joe was just saying when he put it back together and drove it the first time, it was absolutely lovely. Took it for a second time, and it did this. Just to clarify, he was just saying he did change all new pickup pipes on it, so it wasn't running the old pickup pipes that were blocked. Sump's been off and cleaned up. Right, okay. And did we clean out the intercooler on it? Yeah, cleaned out the intercooler. So it wasn't a case, I initially thought, oh, what's happened is the new turbo has allowed the car to overrun because the intercooler is full of oil. I thought perhaps that's what's happened, and it's overrun, and a car will do that. It'll just keep running off the oil. But that's not what's happened here. You were off throttle, didn't you say? Yeah, off throttle coming around a bend. And you can't downshift it because over downshift it because it's auto. It's not a manual, so it just is. Just looks like really bad luck, to be honest. So this is typical car dealing for you. Got the Citroen Belingo sold and due to go out the door. Went to put some fuel on it. Ping, comes up with a little orange triangle. Plug in. Says the DPF is full. So we're trying to do DPF regen now, a static DPF regen, because to do a sort of one driving around, I'd have to be out in the car for like an hour. I haven't got time to do that. So we got the old top don plugged in. So pretty much all the top dons will allow you, I can't think of any of the top dons that won't allow you to do a forced DPF regen if you buy one. So if you've got a diesel car and you find that you're only doing short runs and you need to get the DPF cleared out, then you will find that the top dons will do the job for you. So with the Belingo, took it down to Moores in the end, couldn't work out quite what was wrong with it. They said, no, you've not got a DPF issue, you've got a stop-start accumulator issue. That's what your triangle's relating to. They think the DPF one's some historical code or something. And you've got a stop-start accumulator that lives inside the inside wing that has caused your problem. And that's why you've got a triangle, and we're going to have to replace that in order to fix it. Rang the customer up, let the customer know this issue had risen. They've rung me back later on and said they're backing out the deal now, so they're not having the car at all. But now I want to come and see a Hyundai i10 2013, which is really weird because obviously the Belingo was automatic. That was the appeal. That was like a £7,000 vehicle or something, and the Hyundai i10's a £3,000 vehicle. I don't know what's going on there. Sure, he's got his own personal reasons for that, but I'm gonna see about selling him that. But yeah, so the Belingo will have to go back up for sale once Moores have sorted that part out. So we pulled the little Dacia stepway in to have a look at the timing chain. So if you remember, we got this from BCA Auctions. Really nice looking little car. Fantastic bodywork wise, spec wise, really good. The issue with it was there was a bit of a noise in the engine bay, which we think relates to the timing chain. So we're going to whip the timing chain cover off, have a look, hoping just to find a broken tensioner. So that's what we're looking for. It's a fairly simple job, I think it is. We've not done one before, but looking at it online, it's fairly simple. It's just a case taking the engine mount off, supporting the engine, and then taking all the bolts off around the side of the cover there. We've got a kit here. We've got a timing chain kit here, which was pretty inexpensive. But like I say, once we'd open it up, we'll have a look. But we're hoping that we will find a damaged timing chain guide. So coming in December, we had an all right month last month. Sold quite a few cars, so I've been on the auctions to pick up some more because obviously you just can't get enough volume buying privately. Still massive thanks to everyone that does message me about their cars. So what have we bought? Well, I wanted to fill up on some soft roaders again. Haven't done well with them last couple of months. So we've got Seat Herona 1.6 TDI with 92,000 miles on it. It's a grade 3, so the bodywork's good, and it's got a BCA assured report on it as well. Which means they will guarantee the things they put on the report. So it should be fairly safe, but we'll obviously have to check it over. Check the injectors is the biggest thing with those, isn't it? And then we've got the Hyundai iX35 1.7 CRDI, which is a good engine. We find those good as well. The most likely thing with that would be a low biting point on the clutch. So depending on how low it is, if it is low at all, we'll see when it comes in. Got VW up, always done well on VW up, 65 plate one with 59,000 miles on it, and it's a 5-door in blue with the nice alloys on it. It's a nice looking car that, I think that should sell fairly well. We've got Hyundai i10 coming in, which you know I love. If you watch the channel regularly, you know I love a Hyundai i10, 2013, 56,000 miles. We've got my first ever Skoda Superb. We've got a Skoda Superb Estate, 2-litre TDI in, 150 brake one with a 2-litre TDI, which is a good engine, 91,000 miles. Hear lots of good things about Skoda Superbs. This looks like a nice one with those bigger alloys on it. I'm going to be interested to try that out because I just hear they're lovely cars to drive. So we've got an estate in there. Haven't had many estates recently. We've got another iX35. This is a grade 5. I've had a look at it. It's mostly interior trim that needs sorting out. It's a 2-litre one, 4-wheel drive. These always done well for me. They're nice looking cars in that gunmetal grey. And the last thing I picked up, another estate. I picked up a Volvo V60 with 98,000 miles on with a 2-litre diesel in. And that's just going to be a good family car, isn't that? It's a grade 3, so bodywork should be pretty good on that. So I paid for delivery on all of those, so I have no idea when they're going to turn up. So when they do, we'll do a bit of video content and see how I've got on. But I think that's enough to keep me ticking over for the moment. I don't think I need to go bidding on any more at the moment. I will be putting holding images for these cars up on the website with the prices. So if anybody wants to know how much they are, they can go and have a little look-see there. While I've got my computer up, a little reminder. If you or someone you know and love would like some Chops Garage merch for Christmas, my mate Joe at Shifted Metal runs that side of things via his website here. It is Inside Line Shop. I will put a link in the video description. I'll put it on screen in a second as well now. But he has got stickers, keychains, mugs, t-shirts, bumper stickers, and hoodies. He's got it all there. If you're looking for a gift for someone who, for some reason, likes to continuously watch my witterings, or you just fancy one for yourself, as I say, I'll put it on screen. I'll put a link in the video description down below. Right, we've got the cover off. It wasn't too bad a job. Now, we were a bit concerned because we could see quite a bit of sealant around it, like someone had been in before. But we think what they've done, I don't know if you're going to be on camera, but Pete, if you just wobble that oil pump chain down the bottom, you can see there, you can see the tensioner movement. I'll come in from the other side, but there's a hell of a lot of play in the oil pump. There's two chains, one for the engine and one for the oil pump at the bottom. There's a huge amount of play in the one for the oil pump, so it could be someone put a timing chain on before, didn't do the oil pump, but the tensioner on the chain is out all the way as well. So we'll know when we put the new one on whether that's this position they end up being in. But yeah, definitely the oil pump chain is there. It is. We can see it now. Here, that one's got a lot of slack, a lot of play in it. We think what possibly might have happened is that chain looks fairly nice and new. That chain looks fairly old. Is they basically skimped and didn't put an oil pump chain on when they did the main chain. So that looks like it could be our culprit. So we'll put the new kit on, put it back together again, and see how we get on. We've got it all lined up now. What you've got is you've got a link there. We put a bit of Tipex on it. It was a black link, but it was hard to see with the oil pumping over it. So we put a bit of Tipex on it. So it's lined up here with this notch. And then over here, you've got a line, and it's another black link. We put a bit of Tipex on that's lined up. It did take us about, at PE, I was here helping out, wiping the chain to keep an eye on which link was on there. It did take, it's about 20 turns, wasn't it, Pete, to get it timed up right? We thought something was seriously wrong, but it eventually did actually come round again. We were starting to convince ourselves it was a link out, but it did come round in the end. So now we are able to remove the tensioners and take the old chain off and put the new one on. So Pete's got our Dacia back together, and the noise has gone. We've lost that chain rattly, tappety. I mean, obviously these are 3 cylinders, so they're a little bit noisy anyway, but we've lost that noise we had. Ideal. So time for a full oil and filters change now, and luckily because we bought this with really good bodywork, once that's done it can go straight up for sale. I forget what the MOT status is on it, but yeah, new timing chain kit, job's a good one. So as Pete and I did suspect, the micro that we had in the other day and did a clutch on under warranty, because it had been diagnosed as a bad slave, we got it back in because the customer's still having the same issue, and we've just put a master cylinder in. And looking at the master cylinder, it does look like some fluid might have been leaking past the seal in that. So we've now done master cylinder, slave cylinder, and obviously we put a full clutch kit in, which the customer did pay for the clutch kit, because as we said, it was the slave that was bad, not the clutch kit. So he contributed towards the clutch kit. It's only a £1,495 car, I think we sold it for. So got quite a fair bit of labour in it now, but it's just the way the cookie crumbles sometimes. Hopefully that sorts him for him. He was saying it was in traffic when he was having to repeatedly change gear and balance the clutch. He was having issues. So to me that does time with something hydraulic. Don't forget the latest Chops Garage raffle is now live. You can win this 2014 Mercedes 220 AMG Coupe with the reliable 2.1 diesel in it that has a fantastic service history, unlike our Mercedes at the beginning. And tickets for that are just £2 each, and we will be doing the draw. I think it goes on New Year's Day, I think is the draw date. So as I said, this car came from a subscriber, and it has been very well looked after, and it is a lovely car. I've driven this quite a bit. It's got a suede and leather interior, full pan roof, and we'll be sending it out the door with a brand new MOT. So I'll put a link to that in the video description down below. Well, BCA have been legends. Gave me a ring just 2 days after winning these cars and said we're bringing them all in one go. So we have a transporter with all the vehicles on in one go. How brilliant is that?